draft. I'm excited about this, man. So again, guys, I want y'all to make sure you go give some support here. Go find Bill Huber on Twitter. Go find Jacob Westendorf on Twitter. They do an excellent job covering the Packers for Sports Illustrated. They did a 7-round mock draft. I actually put a link to the article in our Patreon group here, okay? So if you go to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access, you'll see we got basically the picks that they made at what pick we've got listed out, but I want to give credit where credit's due. Make sure you guys go give that article a click, give it a read. It's a lot deeper. Look at why they picked who they did at these spots. Okay, it's an excellent read, so go check that out over at si.com. So here is their 7-round mock draft. Obviously, round 1, we do not have a pick there because of the Micah Parsons trade. Round 2, pick 52, Tim. They go with cornerback Keith Abney out of Arizona State. I just did a quick little blurb here, and I showed where he's at on our board. At pick 52, Abney would be great value according to our PTA big board, ranking 45th. However, his arm length of 30 inches may turn Gute in a different direction as they have preferred 31-inch arms in the past. Perfect example here. Keith Abney, 45th on our board at pick 52. Don't be surprised if Gute goes a different direction. Maybe he goes down one spot and gets Brandon Cease, cornerback out of South Carolina. If he does that, his arm length is 30 3/4 of an inch. So now quarter of an inch, a little bit closer to the 30-inch that he likes. Again, I don't agree with that mindset, guys. Please don't misunderstand me here. However, when you take everything into consideration there, you got two guys with similar grades, I could see Gute going with Brandon Cease there. But Keith Abney at pick 52, Tim, I think if that happened on draft night, we would say that's a good pick.
I agree. He's coming off his best season. 2025, 86.3 grade on PFF. Another corner that is really good in zone, really good in man-to-man. I would agree with that statement, Clay, for sure.
And when we originally put the information in, PFF had him ranked 35th on their big board. The consensus big board had him at 42. DJ did not have him in his top 50, but that's okay. Dane Brugler had him at 59.
So PFF's got him at 40 on the nose right now.
So he's dropped a little bit.
Yep.
Gotcha. And he did not have, it might be because he doesn't have an RAS score, right? He doesn't have a finished score.
Yep.
Maybe after the pro day, he gets a 5 there. Think about that, guys. Let's say that he goes out of Arizona State's pro day and he dominates and his RAS card ends up being a 9+, right? He gets a 5-point bonus. Now he jumps up to around where D'Angelo Pons is. That's how quickly that can happen because D'Angelo Pons actually doesn't have an RAS either. So if he completes that RAS card at their pro day at Indiana, I don't know if he will, but if he does, then he's going to jump on up too, and D'Angelo Pons is going to have even more value as well. So
exactly.
Yeah. So again, their pick was Keith Abney at pick 52, cornerback out of Arizona State. Round 3, pick 84. Tim, you're going to love this one, man. They crushed this. Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker, Texas Tech. All right. At pick 84, Rodriguez will be great value according to our PTA big board, ranking 63rd. However, here it comes, guys. Multiple measurables do not meet Gute's preferred athletic threshold. He falls a ½ inch shy in height, 5 pounds too light in weight, and his arms are 3/4 of an inch too short. Does that not sound silly, Tim? 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
I would love that pick.
Fixate on something that minuscule is kind of wild.
And again, we're not saying that Gute definitely won't draft him. He may draft him. He may draft D'Angelo Pons. We're not saying there's a 0% chance. We're just talking about what they've liked in the past. Okay.
I'd like a stack backer if we're going to take him to be able to stop the damn run. And,
yes.
I think Rodriguez fits that mold.
And dude, he's a takeaway machine. He just knows how to punch the ball out. He knows how to take the ball away. Right. He's very, very, very instinctive.
And his coverage grade is no joke either.
Right.
Yep.
And again, well, Tim, he's not going to cover good at the NFL because he's he's a ½ inch too short. Give me a break, dude. Like, what are we talking about here, right? So he got the All-Star bonus there for the Senior Bowl week. He dominated that week. So on the grand stage, showed up, showed out. His RES is a 9+ as well. Dane Brugler has him at 64, so it's very realistic that he could potentially fall to 84, but he'll most likely be gone, Yeah. But again, I would love that, man. I think it's silly splitting hairs like this, but Gute obviously does not think it's silly is what I went on to say there in the article. But, yeah, give me Jacob Rodriguez at 84 if he's there.
He's at 84 on the nose right now, according to PFF on their board.
Wow. See, we've got him higher, right? So That's great news. Hey, you know what, Tim? I hope he's outside of the top 100 by the time the draft gets here.
That's what I'm saying.
Our board
at 120.
Yeah. This is how this happens every year, guys. Like, our board won't change. If he continues to sink on other boards, and then all of a sudden, bang, we get there at 84, and our board's going to say, man, he's worthy of the 63rd pick. But other people are going, I see him more around the 90 spot or around the 83 spot, right? It's like, this is good value according to our board around the card, right? So
absolutely.
Jacob Rodriguez at 84 would be an absolute dream, in my opinion. All right, round 4, pick 120. This is where we start to separate a little bit. This is actually a pretty solid pick according to our board. And again, guys, I'm not trying to put Bill Huber and Jacob Westendorf down. They probably know way more about football than I do. This is just comparing it to our board and cross-checking and making kind of case either to confirm, yes, this is a good pick according to the board, or it's not.
Yeah, it helps us as you analyze these guys, right?
Yeah.
Heading into the draft, because you get that other perspective from guys that are really looking at this too, maybe from a different angle. I love this kind of info for sure.
Absolutely, man. Again, just respectfully cross-checking with other people who are covering the draft, right? Chris McClellan, defensive tackle out of Missouri, okay? We take him at pick 120. There's one of your Mizzou guys, Tim.
Let's go.
According to our PTA big board, McClellan would be a slot reach here, ranking 133rd. However, his 114.8 grade suggests he is worthy of pick 120. So the score, this is the perfect example of there's other prospects that are going to be better than him on our board when we pick here, okay? But if you look at the score, you go, if you really like the prospect, you can go get him and you feel good about it. His measurables, Tim, 6'4", 313 pounds, 34-inch arms, and he ran a 5.05 40-yard dash. He's a guy who's gotten better every year in PFF, right? 547, 185. And what was his grade in 2025, Tim?
2025, 78.2, according to PFF.
And I was showing that was 72nd best amongst defensive tackles. Does that still hold true, or is it shifted? They've been changing their grades a little bit, which is hilarious. It should show you right next to the grade.
For 2025, 74th, they're saying.
Okay, so it's shifted a little bit. So again, why is that important? 547, 185, 72. He's ascending. He's getting better every year, right? We talk about that every college football draft season here. Tankathon had him at 106, so they're saying that would be great value. Dane Brugler has him at 95, Tim. He's saying that's screaming good value. And then 8+ RAS checks the RAS box for Gute. This makes a lot of sense, man. A lot of sense. Chris McClellan.
Shout out Mizzou again. I mean, check out his pass rush grade and then look at his run defensive grade.
What do we got?
You're talking about a guy that's, 73.2 pass rush grade, 75.2 run D grade, 9.6 pass rush win rate, run stop rate, 8.1%. I mean, you're talking about a balanced D lineman right here for sure.
Yeah. That's what you're looking for. Like Devontae Wyatt, really good at rushing the passer, right? Yep. Not so good, kind of average at playing the run. You want those guys that can control both aspects of the defense. I don't know, man. This one's one that we haven't talked about enough or talked about much, but Chris McClellan, I think that Bill Huber and Jacob Westendorf crushed this. I think this is a guy that keep an eye on Chris McClellan out of Missouri. And who knows, maybe he'll be a top 30 visit. I'm excited to break that down as that information comes in. All right, we got our first wide receiver of the draft here. Tim, you ready for this?
Uh-oh, who we got?
We got round 5, and it's pick 158, and it is Josh Cameron. Unfortunately, he did not make our top 10 kick returner list here. Okay, now maybe he has good kick return experience. He just wasn't the upper echelon like your Hank Beatty's, your Burks, your Henderson, your Zachariah Thomason, guys like that. Benny Anthony, Weegan obviously is a big fan favorite here from Iowa fans in the area. But the pick is Josh Cameron, wide receiver out of Baylor. According to our PTA big board, Josh Cameron would be a heavy reach here, ranking 233rd. However, his 174.4 grade makes it more reasonable. Still a reach, even just with the grade. So this is the first big reach according to their mock draft. Josh Cameron, wide receiver out of Baylor. Now, when you look at some of the measurables, Tim, he kind of fits that mold the Packers like. 6'1.5", 220 pounds, 33 1/8 inch arm length. PFF grades 926, jumped all the way to 134, fell back to 224. We have an incomplete RAS as it sits right now. Tankathon had him at 158 at the moment. PFF Big Board had him at 199. Where do they have him now, Tim?
PFF for Cameron is 233 right now, and they have him 227th out of all receivers.
Got it. And we in our board have Josh Cameron with a 199 PFF ranking, right? So he's dropped since then. Obviously, the consensus Big Board had him at 207. So a bigger body receiver, right? Damn near 6'2". That's what Gute likes. So,
high contested catch rate too, and low drop rate. Good hands on this guy.
Gotcha. So obviously that's a name. Do a little more research on it, gang. Go take a look at Josh Cameron, okay, and see what you guys think about him. All right. Round 6, really love this pick right here. Pick 200, round 6, Sawyer Robertson, quarterback from Baylor, okay? According to our PTA Big Board, Sawyer Robinson would be a solid pick here, ranking 198th, and his grade suggests he's worthy of the 155th pick. So you're getting at pick 200, Tim, the 198th best prospect. This is that range. When you get to the 6th round, we're going to be looking at, all right, what quarterbacks make the most sense? Now, you got several other quarterbacks that come into the fold here. Like right below him is Jalen Daniels out of Kansas. The Packers actually already met with him. He sits down there with a 156.8 grade. That would make sense as well. What do you think about Sawyer Robertson here, man, out of Baylor? Because 6'4", 216 pounds, ran a 4.64 40. That's that Aaron Rodgers range, by the way.
Yep.
And then, of course, PFF originally had him at 203. Where do they have him now, Sawyer Robertson?
He has dropped. He's down to 242 now on PFF.
Got it.
Second Baylor Bear in a row here on the list. I like that.
Yeah. We got to make sure that Jacob Westendorf is an alum at Baylor.
Right. But you're right. Fitting that mold, 6'4", 220 plus, right? That's, at least that's who I like, under center when you're talking about quarterbacks. I'm looking at his grades right now, 70.3 last year, 78.1 in 24. So he actually kind of fell a little bit, at least according to PFF, but seems to be grading pretty well as far as the intermediate and deep grades. 67.2 passing grade overall for him.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning too, Sawyer Robertson, 5-point bonus, had a 9+ RAS at the combine. Tankathon had him at 169. So that's something else that's helping him. It's really going to shake the quarterback room up when Dane Brugler gets his entire beast board done, so we can kind of see where all these guys rank, as well as Daniel Jeremiah extends his top 50 out to a top 100 list. Yep. So again, pick 200, they go round 6, Sawyer Robertson, quarterback out of Baylor. All right, moving along here. Round 7, pick 236. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on these guys, but Riley Mahlman, offensive tackle out of Wisconsin. According to our PTA Big Board, Riley Mahlman would be a heavy reach here. He ranks 277th on our board. However, his 199.4 grade makes it very reasonable at pick 236. So we've got him, again, in the 277 spot, but with a 199.4 grade. We don't have an RAS completed grade there. He recently jumped up because of the consensus Big Board. The PFF Big Board, Tim, had him at 244. Where do you have him now on the PFF Big Board?
He has dropped again. Another one here, 278 right now.
Got it.
PFF. So this would be a guy, one of those comp picks towards the end.
Right.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. And Mr. Availability too, hasn't really missed a lot of games, seems like a durable guy, but looking at PFF grades, he has dropped from 23 to 25. He's dropped 74.4, 74.5. Now he's 62.9 according to PFF.
So we talk about players ascending coming into the league. He's actually descending, right?
That's a little bit. Yep. So maybe a UDFA or, bottom of the barrel pick there. You never know.
This could be
up there on the O line.
This could be this year's John Williams, right?
Yep.
And they may look at it and go, you know what? Maybe we can pull what we've seen in 2023 out of him. What was his grade in 2023, Tim? I think you just said it.
2023, 74.4.
Yeah. So maybe that's what they're looking at is, hey, that's the guy we think we can pull out of them if they go this route. So again, Riley Mahlman, you love to see a Wisconsin Badger getting drafted by the Packers, man. And then next, we got 2 more left. Toriano Pride Jr., cornerback out of, you guessed it, Mizzou. All right. According to our PTA Big Board, Toriano Pride would be a heavy reach here. He ranks 443rd, and has a 325.7 grade that confirms that. If we were to make a case, it would be his RAS currently sitting in the 8th. So again, Toriano Pride, 5'10", 185, 31.25-inch arms, it looks like. Okay. He ran a 4.32 40. So he's just an athletic freak. He ends up in the 8s on RASs. This feels like a Gute 7th round pick. If he's sitting there in the 7th, why not take a chance on somebody who's a incredible athlete?
Let's go. Shout out Mizzou again. And you talk about a guy on the ascension, right? 23, his grade was 65.7, 24, 69.4, 2025, 74.4. Another guy that is pretty balanced when it comes to zone or man coverage too. So don't sleep on Mr. Pride Jr.
Yeah, getting better every year. I got to take a quick look here, Tim, because his PF or his consensus big board is bringing him down significantly at 432. Yeah. Okay, so at 432, let me hop over to the consensus big board and we'll get an updated number here. Remember, if it's more than 100-point difference, we're going to move him. Okay, Toriano Pride, where are you at, sir? He's in the 433 spot currently. So wow. He's
PFF just higher on him. He's at 410 on PFF.
Okay, gotcha. And the original PFF big board we put him as 375. So our board is actually showing him a little bit higher than everyone else's. So that's an interesting pick there from the mock draft, obviously. And then the final pick, we finally go tight end here. We go Matthew Hibner, tight end out of SMU. According to our PTA big board, Hibner would be a heavy reach here, ranking 339th. However, his 240.8 grade makes it more reasonable. If we were to make a case, it would be his RAS currently sitting in the 9s. So he scored a 9+ RAS. Matthew Hibner out of Southern Methodist. All right. 6'4", 251, 32 3/8-inch arms, 4.57 40. All right. When we took the information down, Tim, he was 344th on our on PFF's big board, 344. Where do they have him now?
387 right now.
Okay, so he's dropped. Got it. All right. And then he was 381 on the consensus big board. So Matthew Hibner would be that tight end that I think we would all agree. I think the Packers probably draft at least one tight end this year. So maybe it's that late round guy. Maybe he's more of a athletic freak and he can block a little bit as well. Maybe that is the case. Only time will tell there.
60.4 run block grade according to PFF.
There you go.
On him. So, yep.
All right, guys. So there you go. There's the 7-round mock draft. Again, guys, do me a big favor. Go over there and click on that link. Find Bill Huber. Find Jacob Westendorf on X. Make sure you're following those guys. They do excellent work. If you guys are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments. How do you feel about that 7-round mock draft? Do you agree with it? Disagree with it? Which pick would you change? What prospect do you like more? Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button for us. Hit subscribe and click the bell icon to catch all the live streams moving forward.